High blood pressure, or hypertension, is one of the leading causes of heart disease and stroke worldwide. Studies say that 7.6 million yearly deaths are caused by high blood pressure. Besides, 54% of stroke and 47% of coronary heart disease are also likely caused by this. I'm here to help you change that. Regular exercise can significantly lower your blood pressure and improve your heart health. I've seen it work with my loved ones and for countless others who've taken control of their health through movement. So, I'm going to walk you through the 5 best exercises to help you lower your blood pressure naturally. But first, let me explain how high blood pressure works and why exercise is a good solution against it. High blood pressure, or hypertension, occurs when the force of blood pushing against your artery walls is consistently too high. This makes your heart work harder to pump blood, which can lead to heart disease and stroke in the long run. Exercise helps lower blood pressure because it improves your heart's efficiency. As your heart becomes stronger, it pumps more blood with less effort. This reduces the force of said blood on your arteries. Regular physical activity also has functional changes in your cardiovascular system because it widens your blood vessels. This also improves blood flow and reduces resistance on your heart and blood vessels. Besides, exercise lowers stress hormones like adrenaline, which can contribute to temporary spikes in blood pressure. Now let's get into the best exercises for high blood pressure. First up is walking. I know this one sounds basic, but a simple walk each day can do wonders for your heart. That's because walking is a low-impact exercise that gets your blood flowing, reduces stress hormones, and helps your arteries expand, which lowers blood pressure. A study in the American Academy of Family Physicians explains that walking for an average of 153 minutes a week over 15 weeks lowers systolic blood pressure by about 4.1 points and diastolic blood pressure by 1.8 points. The participants' heart rates also dropped by an average of 2.8 beats per minute. Interestingly, people under 40 saw the biggest improvement, followed by those over 60, and finally, those in the 41 to 60 age group. Now let's talk about cycling. The constant pedaling action helps strengthen your heart and lungs, lowers your resting heart rate, and improves circulation. More interestingly, a study shows that higher core and skin temperatures cause a greater drop in blood pressure for 21 hours after exercise. In this study, untrained men aged 21 to 33 cycled at 60% of their oxygen uptake at 21 degrees Celsius and at 35 degrees Celsius. They burned 300 calories during each session, but in the hot temperature, the systolic blood pressure dropped by an average of 8.3 millimeters of mercury, while in the lower temperature, it dropped by 4.9 points. More interestingly, over the next 21 hours, people in the hot temperature group showed a further drop of another 4.2 points. As a side note, I personally know people who've seen a significant reduction in their blood pressure after adding regular cycling to their routines. And the best part is that it's fun. You're not stuck in a gym, and you can make it as intense or as light as you want. If you're just starting out, aim for 20 to 30 minutes a few times a week, and you'll start seeing results. Another exercise that's amazing for lowering blood pressure is Pilates. Pilates focuses on controlled movements, flexibility, and building strength, but with a stronger emphasis on core stability. What I love about Pilates is how it combines muscle engagement with mindful breathing. This helps lower stress levels, which is a key factor in managing blood pressure naturally. One study published in the Journal of Human Hypertension found that people who did Pilates noticed a 4.76 points reduction in systolic blood pressure and a 3.43 reduction in diastolic blood pressure. However, the study's authors note that Pilates is not better than other exercises at lowering blood pressure. Even so, if you don't feel like walking or cycling, this is a great indoor option. Next up, strength training. Strength training helps you build lean muscle, which improves your metabolism and overall body composition. And the stronger your muscles are, the less strain your heart experiences. For example, I noticed that after consistently strength training for about 10 years or so, my resting heart rate decreased by quite a few beats. A study reviewed 14 trials involving 253 people with high blood pressure to examine how strength training impacts it. The findings showed that strength training, especially at moderate to vigorous intensity for at least 8 weeks, significantly lowered both systolic and diastolic blood pressure. Moderate to vigorous intensity means above 60% of a 1-rep max. As a side note, your 1 rep max is the maximum amount of weight you can lift for 1 full repetition of an exercise. So, if your 1 rep max for a squat is 50 pounds, lifting at 60% intensity means squatting with at least 30 pounds. On the downside, people aged over 51 reaped less results on their blood pressure from strength training compared to participants aged 18 to 50. Even so, if you like strength training, continue doing that. Next, we've got swimming. Personally, I find swimming to be one of the most relaxing yet effective forms of cardio. Here's why it lowers blood pressure. First, swimming engages multiple muscle groups, which raises your heart rate faster, but without making you feel tired, like running on the treadmill does, for example. The point is to improve your heart's efficiency, allowing it to pump blood with less effort. In the long run, this strengthens your heart. Besides, swimming lowers stress hormones, which also reduces high blood pressure. In fact, swimming is now investigated as a good tactic to combat mild to moderate anxiety and depression in multiple studies. So that's what I had to say about exercises that lower your blood pressure naturally. I could have also mentioned deep breathing exercises, but that's not exactly a workout. High-intensity interval training is also proven to work well, but I wouldn't recommend HIIT to a person with high blood pressure in the first place. That said, I want to hear from you. How are you managing your high blood pressure? What exercises do you like, and which ones do you hate? Remember to like, subscribe, comment, or share. Every interaction helps this channel grow, so I thank you in advance. Now let's move this talk to the comments.